I am Captain Logan, and this is day 255 of Spawn Year. I knew this day would come. I only hoped it wouldn't be this soon. Freakadoo is back, and he has discovered my Dreamcast. This guy is like that irritating college dorm mate you'd give anything to replace. His appearances are sporadic and unpredictable, and he likes to be absent just long enough so you almost forget he lives here, only to return and be twice the nuisance he was before. He's loud, he smells weird, he uses my stuff without asking, he says unnerving and creepy things that make me feel uncomfortable, he leaves his stuff here, he serves no purpose except to make me miserable, and he not only eats all my food, but he comes up with ways to convince me to magically create it for him. This nutcase loves Spawn, and is addicted to Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it turns out that he actually thought he was doing me a favor when he brought that disgusting Diet 2-liter, because that's what he drinks. Total opposite of me in every way. He's a walking quagmire. How do you get that frantically demented and perpetually hyperactive drinking soda with no sugar? Well, I guess there's still the caffeine. Maybe sugar is what he wants the popsicles for. I suppose there's no point in looking for rational explanations for anything in a world created to break me, and maybe hoping I'll try to understand nonsensical perplexities like Freakadoo is just one more way I might be distracted into skipping one of these entries. But it's disconcerting watching a psycho who belongs in a straitjacket who looks and sounds just like you. I don't think he's put that controller down since he got here. At first, he threw a fit that Freak isn't in the game, and then he got distracted by the oh-so-hilarious idea of playing as Twitch and sniping Sans. Twitch versus 3 different Sans. Over and over and over again. Getting to play and keep Spawn in the demon's hand made me forget how dismal an existence this is for a day, and creating my own custom Dreamcast made me revel in my new powers. But now I'm reminded that I'm still in hell. I guess I'd better write straight through the cacophony and chaos. This issue opens with a short flashback to Nyx's past, and then a scene where she shows Spawn a photo album of her and her friends, who we learned last issue she formed a convent with and performed spells. We don't learn much of anything that wasn't revealed last issue, and this is all really about contriving a stronger motivation for Nyx to consider the devil's offer. She asks Spawn what hell is like, and he morphs into full-blown Reaper mode in order to mind meld with her and show her, because even though readers have been told in myriad text boxes what all the spheres of hell are like, apparently Spawn can't tell her, he has to let her experience it. Or maybe he's just finally realizing he's not much of a wordsmith. This feels like it's part of that whole hell is different for everyone nonsense that sounds good because worse than you can possibly imagine is hard to draw. But it's never worked in practice because we've seen it drawn repeatedly, and every time Spawn goes there with somebody else, they seem to see and experience the exact same things. That's the trouble with making hell both a place and an idea. It never functions as both simultaneously. It's just whichever a writer needs it to be at the time. So now that Nyx knows what hell is like, she has an idea of what her friend Thea is going through, and by the end, she's ready, of course, to negotiate with Satan himself to get her out of there. Oops, Spawn, you just potentially sealed your own fate, pal. And he wasn't even tricked into it or anything. Now, when somebody asks you what hell is like, a perfectly reasonable question for a naturally curious person to ask a Hellspawn, why is your first inclination to make her experience the most profound mortal terror imaginable? Oh yeah, sure, Spawn's changed a lot since he became part human again. The rest of the issue is Clown building his crazy army of clowns and luring Spawn to his perverted parody of Spawn's old kingdom in the alleys, which was already pretty demented looking to begin with. And I'm really enjoying Clown's twisted style. Hogman's injecting some much needed character into this world with this arc, and we've seen this kind of originality and energy in his writing before. I just wish he could bring this kind of game to his work more consistently. Clown builds a whole creepy pandemonium circus in Spawn's old lair, and it's clever that he writes Phlebic Brothers over it. It seems thematically like Clown may be used here to make Spawn question if he can ever become greater than the sum of his parts, even after finally coming to grips with the scumbucket he used to be. And frankly, 133 issues in, I'm still pretty skeptical myself. Quoting the black and white 30s film Freaks, Violator's insane clown posse, yeah, just couldn't help myself, chant, "One of us, one of us." This idea has yet to be expounded upon. Is Clown saying Spawn will always be a child of hell like Clown is, or is he saying that now that they're both freakish free agents and outcasts of hell, with Bulgy gone and the nature of their new existence unclear, there's no place for either of them and all they have now is each other? The way Clown is mocking Spawn's old life, and also the fact that he's creating copies of himself through unwitting victims, like he's forcing his own family to replace the one he lost but also never appreciated or understood him, suggests the latter motive. It's a little surprising how much Clown and Spawn have in common now, and I wonder how intentional it was. It is kind of interesting that Clown resented Malebolgia for choosing a human to lead his army, and his plans to prove his worth ultimately lead to his becoming a wayward misfit, totally free of Hell's bonds, as Spawn eventually became by choice. By accident, Clown sort of achieved the freedom Spawn always wanted, and ironically that he didn't really want, because like Spawn, he wasn't good at following rules. Both were destroyed by their ambition multiple times, if you count Clown losing his Violator morph and being exiled to Earth. They're very different in their ambitions, but the same in what their arrogant ambitions have brought them to. I think Clown is beginning to see a Batman-Joker relationship here, seeing a perverse kinship with his archenemy, and Holguin's gotta be thinking this too. Violator has never embraced the clown circus motif like this before. Now don't get me wrong, I'm just pointing out some parallels between them that this issue brought to the forefront. They could all be circumstantial and unintentional. Where Spawn and Clown go might be hell. He turns into Violator and somehow, without explanation, sucks he and Spawn into some kind of vortex. Hellbound destiny you can't control, betrayal of friendships, revenge, just another day in the life of Spawn. And, unsettlingly, themes that have cropped up a lot for me this year as well. Yesterday, a skull. Today, a freak. Spawn here seems desperate to convince me I'm doomed. That I'm destined for an eternity of misery and there's nothing I can do about it. Freakadoo might as well hold up a sign that says, one of us, but I'm not like him. And the fact that this place wants me to think I am so badly is a good indication that I'm right. Sure, Freakadoo, have a couple more popsicles. I don't know why you specifically want 2 of them, and I don't care. Just go away so I don't have to listen to you making puns about sandwiches anymore. Signed, Captain Logan.